Podcast City Network. The Everett Lee Show.
Welcome to the Everett Lee Show on this Monday night here on Podbeam Live. I'm the Everett Lee. I want to give a shout out to everyone who follows me on social media: Facebook, Everett Lee Show; Twitter, at the Everett _Lee; Instagram, Everett Lee; YouTube, Everett Lee. And portions of this audio podcast can be found on the following platforms: Podbeam, Stitcher Radio, iHeart Radio, iTunes, Google Play, and Amazon Music. And I have a great show tonight here, ladies and gentlemen. My guest tonight, he was on episode 139, and you can go back and listen to the first episode he was on here on the Everett Lee Show, but I got him back tonight. I'm going to welcome back to the Everett Lee Show none other than the prestige athlete, Jacob Rose.
What's up, everybody? Hey, dude, I am so excited to be back on it. You were my first ever podcast. I had a blast, and I'm just excited to be back on your show.
I'm excited to have you back, man, because you were one of the first ones from FGW that I actually interviewed that I've had on, because I had Harley Fairfax on, but at that time she was not with FGW. She was with another promotion. But I was sitting there one day talking to Robin Nelson, and he said, you know who you need to get on? I said, who's that? He said, get Jacob Rose on. He's on fire, man. That kid's on fire. I said, really? So I had you come on, and I had to go back and remember what episode I had you on, because after doing this is 248 episodes, it's like I had to dig back in the archives. I'm like, when did I have him on? And I was like, okay, 139. So I went back the other day, actually, Jacob, and I listened to that episode, and it was a great conversation we had talking about you starting out in wrestling, how you met Cody Hawk. I still love that story, how you met Cody Hawk. That was amazing there, and just talking about different matches from WWE, talking about SummerSlam 08, how you love that. That was one of your favorite pay-per-views, which really got your attention to get into wrestling. And
first ever.
It was a great conversation going back listening to that episode. And man, that's been about almost 2-3 years. And here we are 2-3 years later, and there's a lot that's happened in that time since I last spoke with you, because FGW was just starting, and I tune in the Shockwave every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. on their YouTube channel. And I just started watching and just seeing all the stuff that you were getting into, because when I first started watching it, you were in a tag team with Shay Solo, correct? Yep. You guys were the Bold and Beautiful, and you guys got in some trouble there with a guy who just returned to FGW, the Heavy Metal Viking Hooks. Tell me about that during that time, just getting into that feud, you and Shay, with the Heavy Metal Viking, Hooks, and then with Ricky Glam and Big Booty Brad, man.
Man, I'll tell you what. So when we first started, I turned on Cody. Everything comes back, teacher, student, gotta love it. So when I turned, I thought I have to turn against Cody. I was like, it only makes sense. So we do that. We decide that the Bold and Beautiful, we're the modern day DX. We're going to do what we want. We're going to raise out, and we're just going to take over FGW. Well, Hooks didn't like that too much. And he's a big guy. You think he hits hard? He hits a lot harder than you think. So those were honestly some of my favorite matches too, especially when we did add Ricky Glam and then Big Booty Brad. He had my first hardcore match. They were my first TLC match. And I actually went through a table in the TLC match. Tables are a lot harder than they look. Oh, yeah. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah.
I got speared off the apron. smacked my head onto the table. And man, I tell you what, I thought I had a concussion. I got to the back. I'm like, oh, dude, I can't even think straight right now. I looked at Shay. I was like, did we win? He's like, no, we didn't win. But, you know, after I turned again, I just started talking to Hooks. And, man, what a lovable guy. He's not one of those guys that's just about himself. He's about everybody. He cares, everything like that. Same way with Ricky Glam and Big Booty Brad. I will say we did catch Ricky Glam's face on fire one time. That was a little funny, but he forgave me for that. But no, it's those three are three of my favorite people in the world. I love those guys.
Yeah, talking about that TLC match, that was at Cold Blooded 2019, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, that out of all the stories going on at the beginning there around 2019, that would have to be one of my favorite right there. Because every time Bold Beautiful would come out, I was saying to myself, I said, okay, where's Hooks at? And all of a sudden Hooks would just show up and start beating you guys down at ringside, beating you to the back. And then you guys had that six man hardcore match with the tables. You guys tore it up. Big time, man. I enjoyed that match, man. And yeah, I remember that part there, that spot when you got speared off the apron. God, I thought they killed you.
Me too. Me too.
Yeah, that was great. That was great. That was a great match. And then there, shortly afterwards, you and Shay, as a tag team, just started going around and having matches here and there, and there was nothing really too much big. And then all of a sudden, 2020 hits, lockdown. Man, that was rough for everyone. I know it was rough because you're in Ohio. I know how rough that was for being a worker because you guys couldn't do anything because the wrestling in Ohio goes through the state athletic commission, and you guys were shut down, and you pretty much, there was no more Friday night there for a while, no more FGW because everything was just put on hold. I do want to ask you, what did you do during that time when you couldn't get into the ring and perform? What did you do?
Thankfully, I was able to stay in the gym because the gym I went to, I still go to, but it's a bodybuilding or a powerlifting gym. So as long as we parked on the side of the building and not where everybody could see, they'd let you in. So I was able to stay in shape. The best shape I could, all that stress and everything, stress eating. So I would stay in the gym, but it wasn't doing as much as it could have. And then I just kind of waited it out. I mean, like you said, there's only so much you can do. There was a promotion in Indiana that I think we were able to run a few times, and then that stopped running. So most of that time I didn't wrestle.
Wow. That's crazy because I knew as 2020 went on, a lot of people that I know live in Ohio, they started going out like Indiana, Virginia, because they started lifting lockdown in those states, and people in Ohio were going outside to go, do matches and work for promotions outside of Ohio. I know Shauna Reed went out to Indiana and went out. Harley did the same thing, and it was Ohio didn't do anything. And then towards the end of 2020, September, they basically let wrestling happen again. I know before that, you guys did some like non-wrestling events there. You had sort of like a variety show and stuff. How was that?
I think that was we did a cooking show for the variety show. It was me, Brian, and then Mitch Solo. It was Mitch Magnus dressed as Shea Solo. I went out there. I was like, you know what? I'm going to go out and have fun. Had a bottle of wine, sitting there drinking the wine, just throwing stuff into the thing. Brian's like, we can't eat any of this. And I said, well, I mean, hey, the fans like it. So I'm out there having fun. I'm just throwing random stuff in it. I think I threw half a bag of flour, half a bag of sugar, wine, anything that I could find. I just threw in the bowl. But the variety show was fun. We just random stupid stuff that made us laugh, and us being able to laugh made the fans laugh, and it was all around a good time. It was something that not only us as workers needed, but the fans needed as well. It was something to give them something until wrestling came back, to give them hope and give us hope as well, knowing that we still have this fan base. We still have these people that love and care about us, that when we are able to have a wrestling show, we know that they will be there for us.
That's great. You guys got to show a different side besides being in the ring, being performers. You got to show some comedian, your comical side, which was great and stuff. Because I remember seeing the post and short videos on there. You guys put up on the FGW Future Great Wrestling's Facebook, which I loved. I laughed. I was like, these guys are having a good time. They're making time pass until wrestling is able to come back. But when Shockwave came back, I was pretty happy about that, man. About having, seeing Shockwave come back, and I was like, it's about damn time, man. It's about damn time that Shockwave came back. Things were different. The talent, there was some new talent, which I wasn't too familiar with. A lot of familiar faces, a lot of new people showing up, and as time progressed, more of that familiar faces I got familiar with before everything shut down came back. And then, of course, Bold and Beautiful, you guys are still doing your thing there. And when there, after a while, they started talking about presenting tag team championship titles, FGW tag team championship belts. So I was happy about that. I was like, who's going to be the first team? And apparently you and Shay went out and you guys became the first FGW tag team champions. People listening right now, can you tell me about that there? The team you went against and what was going through your head mentally before having the match and after holding those titles. Tell me about that.
It was a lot of stress, a lot of everything being thrown on us, especially we had 3 matches that night. We had the first one, I think we kicked off the show. It was against Jonah Wales and Dewey Brown. And that match, it was only a few minutes, but we went hard. We did everything we could. Then the second match, my brain doesn't work very well. I don't remember exactly who it was against, but for the final one, they announced that it was going to be a ladder match, FGW's first ever ladder match. So me dabbling with the ladders before, but never in an actual ladder match, I was nervous, terrified. When I come out to the ring for that match, you can even see me just look up at the title sitting there, and you can just see the nerves in my face all hitting me at once. I didn't pose, I didn't do anything. I just came out, looked up, pointed, and I'm like, I don't know about this. But it was us, the Blackheart Foundation. At that time, it was Ryan Michaels and Harley Fairfax, and then Roach. And man, let me tell you, that was probably the hardest hitting match I have ever been in. I got hit with so much stuff. I bled so much. It was just once the match started, all of those nerves just went away, and the only thing I could think about was getting through this match and then worrying about everything after. But it was probably my top match, one of my top matches. It was just so fun, just sharing the ring with everybody, and then being able to be those first tag team champions, winning the first ever ladder match, and then climbing up there, taking the titles off. Once we grabbed those titles, that's when it hit that this is reality. It hit that I just won my first championship belt. I just won the first ever tag team championships. I just beat 2 other teams. This is crazy. I grabbed those belts and I started crying. I don't think you can tell in the video, but I started bawling. I hugged Shay. I said, I couldn't do this without you. It was just, that was a moment that I will always have with Shay. Right now, we just had a feud. He turned. We'll get to that at some point. But even though we don't agree on things right now in the wrestling ring, that is something that can never be taken from us. That is a feeling that will never be able to be taken from us. And it's just one of the best feelings in the world, genuinely, especially having all of our friends and family in the audience watching.
That's amazing. That is. Now, when you were before the match too, did you go back and like you and Shay decide it's like look at any other type of ladder matches, that tag team ladder matches to pull inspiration from for that match?
No. Genuinely. We just went in there and we're like, we watched enough ladder matches to probably get the hang of it, and it worked, but we barely even talked that entire night. The only thing we said to each other was, go out there, let's kill the competition, let's win these belts. Smacked each other around a little bit, getting hyped up, but we really didn't talk beforehand, anything like that. We were just worried about getting through it.
Nice. So you guys held on to those. How long did you hold on to the tag team titles there, the FGW tag team titles? How long did you hold on to them? You held on to them for a long time, didn't you?
Only a few months. I think we won them in April, I believe. We won them at April Reigns, and we lost them in June. We lost them on June 4th. And the only reason I remember that is because it was the day before my birthday.
Oh.
So we only held on to them for a few months, but still just being able to say we were the first is good enough for me.
Okay. That is amazing. Yeah. Then you lost the titles, and then there for a while, you and Shay were still doing some matches because at that time you were up here and you guys tried every which way you can to get those titles back. You tried everything, and it seemed you guys kept coming up short. And there for a while there, all of a sudden, I guess it was around last year, they announced the third Super Zeta Memorial, and they were doing qualifying matches leading up before the Super Zeta tournament. And you went in there and by yourself, and you just started, qualifying, winning matches just on your own as singles competitor without Shay. And then when it came time to the Super Zeta Memorial, there you are in the finals. You made it to the finals, and it was you and Cody Hawk. And all I got to say is when I sat back and I watched the Super Zeta Memorial, and when it came down to you and Cody Hawk being the final, the final two there, I was like, oh man, this is going to be good, because I know how long you've been in FGW. I knew your backstory from talking with you last time on the podcast. And I know how much that you've trained and worked hard there at FGW with Cody, and you're going up against your teacher. How did that feel that you're going up against the man that trained you and what you're doing? How did that mentally and physically feel?
It was so surreal. The second that I found out that he won the qualifying match for the finals, everything just hit me. Nerves again. I get nervous before every match, but against Cody in this big of a stage for that big of a thing, the nerves just crushed me. And we had a match in between, so we had a match to get ready, and the only thing I could do was sit. I couldn't talk to anybody, couldn't do anything, couldn't warm up. I just sat and thought. I was thinking, what am I going to do? what am I going to do in this match? How am I going to pull it off? It's just, I've never beaten Cody Hawk before. I've beaten Cody Hawk and Sean Casey in a tag team match, but going into this match, I didn't want to cheat like I did the last time.
Right.
I never beat Cody Hawk in a one-on-one match, and I was just thinking to myself, how am I going to do it this time? And we went out there and just hit each other with everything we had. And I just kept thinking to myself, I can't let Cody win this time. Can't let it do him. So I just pulled everything out of me just to pull it off. And then, Shay came out. I hadn't seen Shay in months.
Yeah.
He'd been hurt. Like you said, I was pulling everything off by myself. So once it got to that point, he came out and laid me on my back. And Cody went for the pin afterwards, which, looking back at it, shocked me. The one thing that I didn't want to do was cheat. I went into that match and I said, I'm not going to cheat. I'm going to do this fair and square. I'm going to beat Cody Hawk, and I'm going to do it my way. And then he went and pulled a Jacob Rose and tried to pull it out from me. But, I kicked out, got up, hit him with the my finisher, and his old news there went over. Sharing that ring with Cody is a very special thing to me, especially since he is my trainer. I know just about everything because of him.
Right.
The only other person that's really trained me is Zeta for the short amount of time that he was there at FGW. So it's just sharing a ring with him is magic. I love it. It scares the hell out of me. But I love it. That's someone that I respect. It's someone that I love and I look up to as a father figure, really. It's hard not to,
Right.
So just being able to share the ring with him is something that I will forever cherish.
That's amazing. You said Zeta. I've had Shauna Reed on a couple times. I had her on a couple of years ago when we were on lockdown, and it was during that time where she won the first Super Zeta Memorial. She won that championship, and she shared how Zeta made an impact on her life and how the training and everything she went with in the ring with Zeta, and how close that she got to Zeta. And how was that for you, being in the ring and learning from Zeta? How was your relationship with him?
So we weren't super close at first. Once we had a match against each other, that's when things started getting a little closer, everything like that. But man, he's such a lovable guy. Like him, he always cares for you. Even when he was training, wrestling, whatever, he loved you. He loved people. And he's just one of those people that you're never going to forget. With him teaching you is hard because he likes to do the lucha stuff. I'm not a big lucha kind of guy. I was 230 pounds at the time. I'm like, man, I don't fly. So I remember the first time we trained and he was trying to teach me how to do a front roll and kip up off my head. I'm just like, dude, there's no way. I was like, you're high if you think I'm doing that. I'm not. And of course, he made me try it.
Yeah.
Fell on my ass.
Oh, man.
And I tried it for the very first time last week. The very first time since then, I hit it. Sorry,
Nice.
Excuse my language.
That's okay.
But I hit it first try. And it's just one of those things that it's so small, but knowing that it's something that Zeta wanted me to do, something that Zeta wanted to show me, and I finally did it, man, made me happy. It lit something in me, but no, he showed me a few things. Like he showed me how to flip over and land on my feet with a hip toss. It's just the small things. And then being able to learn from someone of his caliber is just, it's amazing, really. There's not a day that everybody doesn't miss him,
Yeah, he was such a big impact on the locker room there at FGW, man. And I know he'll be missed, definitely be missed, though. But I have noticed after I did talk with you there in the last couple years, your style, you do every once in a while do pull out some of that lucha libre, and I say to myself, I was like, Zeta. I think of Zeta because I see Jacob Rose pull out something that I normally don't see, not unless he has to, when he's, right there, almost, it looks like you're about to run out of gas. And here you come with, you come out with a lucha libre move. And I say to myself, Zeta. I said, Zeta. And your in-ring performance and everything has progressed so much, man. And watching you in that match with Cody, and when you finally won that belt, I said to myself, I even told you this before we started this podcast, I said, it's about damn time they gave Jacob, it's like you've worked your tail off there, and hard work pays off, and it shows right there. You become the, for the third year, you're the Super Zeta Memorial, champion. And yeah, Shay came in, and I was shocked by that right there. It almost reminded me of the Rockers, but there was no barbershop.
Yeah.
Thank God there wasn't no barbershop, man. And I wouldn't be surprised. Commentary said, it's like, yeah, Jacob Rose jumped through that window, man. You can't believe that. He's a coward. No.
Wow, I see how it is.
Little Bobby the Brain Heat in there.
Hey, all I'm saying is, if we're the Rockers, I'm Sean. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I can actually, because when I went back and listened to that podcast there, when I had you first on, you mentioned Shawn Michaels, and I can see a lot here and there with Shawn Michaels. So, I mean, Shawn Michaels is great. He had some great matches. He was in the tag team, and the tag team split up, and he pretty much went out and, went out on his own, and look what happened. And that's what you're pretty much doing right now after winning the Super Zeta Memorial, after winning that championship, you're pretty much out there on your own. Take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll dive more into the conversation right here. But first, there's a couple things I do want to mention. Keep up with the latest shows and content from Podcast City Network over on podcastcity.net. Follow them on facebook.com/Podcast City Network, Twitter @Podcast City Net. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, Podcast City Network. On Twitch, Podcast City Network. Podcast City Network, your top source for independent podcasting. Be creative, be yourself. Whether it's a sticker for your car, a t-shirt for that special someone, or a neck garter to keep safe during COVID-19, Podcast City Network has you covered. Grab the latest PCN gear today at podcastcity.net/shop to show your support for your favorite show or shows from Podcast City Network today. Want to start a podcast? Trying to grow your current show? Podcast City Network is here to help. We currently offer services for social media advertising, marketing, live stream hosting, custom logo design and branding, transcript services, custom intro and outro videos, audio video editing, press kits, one-on-one consultings, and much more. So don't wait. Contact us today. podcastcity.net/services. Head over to the website, fill out the form, get in contact with Podcast City Network. Have you ever wanted to start a podcast but didn't know how? Do you already have a podcast but you don't know how to grow it? Are you trying to find ways to make your podcast profitable? You can learn how to do it here at Podcast City Network. We offer consultant services, tutorial classes to help with learning to better expand your knowledge to grow your show. We also give access to our network of shows to help with cross promotions, guests, and overall reach while becoming a part of our ever-expanding PCN community based on people helping people. The best part is no membership fee. So what are you waiting for? Fill out the contact form below right here over on podcastcity.net/join now. and sign up today. Podcasting Network, your top source for independent podcasting. Be creative, be yourself.
You're listening to The Everett Lee Show.
You get thrown into some tag matches here and there, and you work well, like especially with Jonah Wells. I've seen you tag with him plenty of times, man. Jonah's great. I like him. I like his style. I like what he brings to the ring. I like what you bring to the ring, and having both of you in a tag match there when you put together, it was like, oh man, this is gonna be great. This is gonna be great.
We have great chemistry together. We always have. Him and I are the only two people from our training class that are still here. So yeah, we started training pretty much at the same time. I think maybe like a month apart.
Mm-hmm.
And then in that time, we were training together for probably a year, 2 years, something like that, before FGW even started.
Right.
So once FGW did start and we were given that opportunity to do security, we were still doing everything together. We were still training together. We were still doing security together, getting everything done together. And then we debuted together. We tag matched against Brian Beach. It's just everything comes full circle if you think about it, because we haven't teamed up. We haven't teamed up since our debut. And then now we've teamed up 2-3 times in the past month and a half. So it's just sharing the ring with somebody that you have that chemistry with, that connection with. It's magic starts flying, So I know his moveset. He knows mine. We know pretty much everything about each other. He is like a brother to me. He always will be. So being able to share that ring, and I love tagging with him. We complement each other very well, I think.
Yeah. You guys do. You guys have some great chemistry in the ring there, both of you guys. Now, do you prefer doing your singles run or jumping back into doing a being tag team? What do you like, and what do you feel more comfortable doing at this point?
I think I prefer singles, just because it's just less people to worry about. I like an occasional tag match. I like what's going on now with every once in a while me and Jonas are tagging. That's fun. I was tagging with Crash for a little bit before that. It's just every once in a while a tag match is good, just to keep my head on straight, keep me on my toes. But overall, championship, there's only one tag championship.
Yeah.
There's a lot of singles championships. And I want to be the first ever Grand Slam champion at FGW. Those last 2 titles I need are singles championships. So it's not that I'm more comfortable with one over the other, because I'm, throw anything at me and I'll do what I can. I'm confident about that. Put me in a big match, I'll shine. I'll do what needs to be done. I will get the job done. So my confidence isn't the issue there. And I wouldn't say, I don't know if I'd really say I prefer being singles, because I just like to wrestle. Give me whatever match and I'll do it. But I do want to win those championships. So at this point, a singles run would probably be best.
Okay. You pretty much, it makes sense. You want to get those 2 championship, because the next event is Maximum Mayhem, and there's some pretty good matches for that card there. I mean, have you looked at the card for the match that's going to be for Maximum Mayhem? Have you looked at that?
I've seen a few of the matches, and I'm just like, dude, I'm excited for this. We've got Cody versus Ryan Michaels again. That's gonna be killer. They're gonna blow the roof off of that place. Honestly, that might be match of the year. It's gonna be fantastic. And then it's Drew Skills. Is he? Who's Drew putting the title against?
I'm looking it up right here, right now. I'm on FGW Facebook right here. I'm scrolling down, man. There's a lot of promos and a lot of good pictures. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's been going on since the last time I looked. I know since you brought up Ryan Michaels and Cody Hawk, a Singapore cane match. Wow. That
I'm gonna be cringing watching that match.
Singapore canes. You know about Singapore canes? Do you know anything about those, Jacob?
I know they're hard.
Yes. I believe back years ago. This was years ago, probably when I was in my senior year in high school. This American tourist went over to Taiwan somewhere, and he got a little bit intoxicated and did some damage, and he got arrested, and his punishment was he got Singapore caned. And what I heard is when they Singapore cane you in the pain, you pass out, and when you pass out, they wake you up and keep doing it again. That's punishment, man. That makes your skin crawl, don't it?
You know what? On second thought, I quit wrestling. I am no longer doing this. You heard it here first. I'm done. Retiring.
Yeah. That's what they do for punishment over there, man. You know, I mean, thank God we live here, you know, because I mean, you know, you act up, you do something, you get caned. You know, yeah. I would rather get a kendo stick. Would you not?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. If I had the choice, I would rather neither. But yeah, I'd rather a kendo stick.
Oh yeah, you've been hit with those kendo sticks. I know you have. They don't look too good the next morning, do they? With those welts.
No, they don't. You can still feel the sting too. That's the bad part.
Yeah, I'm looking this up right here. I'm looking at the posters, man. There's a lot of stuff on here. I don't see.
I think it's Drew and Jack Vaughn now. I think we just did that on Friday. Vaughn qualified for it, so I think it's Drew versus Jack Vaughn. So that's going to be two big behemoths of men just crushing it in the ring.
Well, yeah, there's when I'm looking at the posters here, yeah, we got Cody Hawk versus Ryan Michaels, Singapore cane match. And then we have Doors Galore match. I'm still laughing about this. Alpha Sigma against Roach. That's, man. I like to see Roach, Jacob, I like to see Roach come out with a custom door. If Roach is listening to this, right, Ryan Wild, right? Right. Ryan Wild, come out with a Roach custom door, please. I'd love to see that. I'd love to see that, wouldn't you?
Spoiler alert. Watch Shockwave this week.
Oh, I'm going to. Oh, yeah, I'm definitely going to, man. I'm going to.
You want to see that door?
Oh, spoiler. Oh, dude. Yes. Yeah. Thank you.
They came out Friday, and I was like, no, they didn't. It's the Roach door. So that's something to look forward to on Shockwave.
Oh man, I'm definitely gonna love that, man. AEW is gonna have to wait. I'm gonna have to replay that. Seriously. The reason why I watched AEW last week was because the opening match with CM Punk, Dustin Rhodes. Hell of a match. That's why I tuned in, because I wanted to see that when it announced that, because I wanted to see what direction and where they were going to go with this match. But I did go back and watch Shockwave, and I was shocked at the last few minutes of Shockwave. But since I do want to bring this up, I love the post that you put out there. You can fly. You had a match there with from the Crown. I forget the brother's name.
Leonis.
Man, that was what, a good 15 minute. You guys had 15 minutes, right? You had a 15 minute.
I think so.
Yeah, 15-minute match. Jacob, man, you could fly. You could fly.
Hey,
Zeta. I was happy with that match right there, because when he came out and then when you came out, I was like, oh man, I was like, Jacob's going to get killed. But no, you stayed. How you did that match with him was great. He was great. You told a great story in that ring there. And I didn't know if you were going to win or if he was going to win. And it just kept back and forth. It was one of those moments, Jacob. It had me on the edge of my seat, 2 count. I'm like, oh man. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Cover 1, 2. I'm like, oh man. And then, it's like you get covered. I'm like, no, and then, that's pretty much how I am when I watch that match, because I was glued, because it was great. But you didn't come out, winning in the end. But I love that match because you were doing everything you can. You're pulling everything out, man, and you're just running there. And then towards the end there, it was like, the gas tank was starting to go empty, but that adrenaline had you going, and the fans were into that. I love a matches when the crowd gets into it, man. That's what I love about FGW.
You can't stop fighting, man. Even when you think you've got nothing left, you can't quit fighting. And win or lose, I'm okay with losing to someone like him, because honestly, him and his brother are going to make it far in this business.
Yeah.
They are fantastic wrestlers. They are monsters. They destroy anybody that's in their way. And yeah, I don't like wrestling because I get the hell beat out of me. But no, those two are fantastic. I do think they are going to make it far in this business.
They are. They're a great tag team, man. I'd like to see them get the belts back, and I loved the turn last week with them. About time, man, because they're likable. Because who was out a little bit there with an injury, and he just came back.
Maximus was suspended.
Oh yeah, that's right. He was suspended, and he came back, and he got that pop, and I was like, yep. I was like, crowd loves these guys now. They don't hate them. They love them. It's about time. But Hooks versus Todd Mullins. He's going to get killed. Todd's going to get killed. Todd, I'm waiting for William Wolf to actually do something, Can someone please hit William Wolf in the head? And can we have Billy come back as Commissioner Billy? I'd love to see that.
Hey, Shay turned him for a quick second. When we were feuding. Billy came back for about 5 seconds.
Yeah, I like to see Commissioner Billy. Legos and juice boxes for everyone.
Hey, I'm cool with it. Juice box. You can't beat a good juice box. That's all I'm saying. That was the one thing Billy had going for him, was he was right about the juice boxes.
Exactly. That guy, yeah, Billy had the juice boxes, man. That's right. Definitely. King of the Hill Battle Royal. Here we go. The Shockwave Championship. You have your eye on that one, don't you? Yeah.
1-0 in ladder matches. All right, that's all I'm saying. It starts off as a battle royal, right? And then once it gets down to the final 4 competitors, it turns into a ladder match, which I love the concept of that. So as long as I don't get thrown over the rope before then, I'll be in my second ladder match, the second ladder match in FGW history. And, history tends to repeat itself. So I wouldn't be too shocked. Hey, I'm going to climb that ladder. And just like I did with the first ever tag team championship, I'm winning the first ever Shockwave championship.
There you go. So you're going to be a part of this, right?
Yes.
Okay. Because I was going to ask you, what is Jacob Rose going to be doing at this event? And you're going to be in the Battle Royal. I'm going to be rooting for you, man. I'd like to see you become a Triple Crown champion. I'd definitely like to see that.
I appreciate that.
Yep, even my dog agrees.
See, that means more. I'll be honest. That one means more.
It's gonna be great. Comes Maximum Mayhem. FGW presents Maximum Mayhem on May 6th. It's gonna be at 190 North Broadway. Brookwood Avenue in Hamilton, Ohio. Doors open up at 6:30, bell time at 7. And front row is $12 and general admission is $10. So if you're in that area, anyone listening, please attend this event because it's going to be great. It's definitely going to be great. And I'm definitely looking forward. I know you've had opportunities for the FGW World Heavyweight Championship. You've had some opportunities there, and you've pretty much came up close of getting the FGW Championship, and that's pretty much the one title that you've gotten so close to, but you never got yet. But with the Shockwave Championship, I hope that leads into you getting more opportunities and shots at that title there. I do hope that it does happen for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I enjoy everything you do, Jacob, in the ring with FGW every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. on Shockwave. And I'm just interested in seeing it's like when Jacob Rose comes out, who's he going to be in the ring with this week? And it's great. And man, last 3 years, you have progressed so much, man. And you just keep climbing that ladder. You keep elevating yourself. And that's what it's about, right?
Yep. You got to keep evolving or else nobody's going to care. If you do the same stuff, it gets boring after a while. So, you got to learn moves, stay in training, which I unfortunately haven't been doing the best of, but I'm trying to get back into that. I've got a few moves that I'm wanting to try out. So, like I said, just keep evolving and see where it takes you.
Excellent. I want to thank you for coming on here tonight and taking time out and talking with me and talking about everything that's been going on. This has been great. And anything else you want to throw out there? Any plugs or anything before we close out?
Oh shoot, I don't know. No, yeah. The real Jacob Rose on Twitter, Jacob Rose 98 on Instagram, and watch my stuff. Pay attention to me. I need it.
Also, I want to throw this out there. Any promoter that's listening, book Jacob Rose. Please book him. He will travel. Book him. His stuff. Watch FGW Shockwave. And you don't have a YouTube, do you? You got to get a YouTube.
I do, but I haven't posted on it.
Oh, man. Come on, man. That's your resume right there. That's your resume.
I just screen record things.
But yeah, any promoter listening, please book Jacob Rose. Look him up on FGW Shockwave, and you will not be disappointed. And I want to thank everyone tuning in tonight, listening to this podcast here. And I want to mention Podcast C Network, your top source for independent podcasting. Be creative, be yourself. Head over to podcastc.net to listen to shows such as the Everett Lee Show, Deathmatch Wrestle Podcast, Imaginarium with Scott and Todd, Verbal Shenanigans, Final Score, and much, much more over there on podcastcity.net. Follow them on Facebook, Podcast City Network, and Twitter at Podcast City Net. And Everett Lee, you can find me on Facebook, Everett Lee Show, Twitter at the Everett Lower Score Lee, and Instagram, Everett Lee, YouTube, Everett Lee. And you can listen to audio portions of this podcast right here on Podbeam, iHeartRadio, iTunes, Stitcher Radio, Amazon Music. And that is it, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank everyone for tuning in and listening to the Everett Lee Show. We'll see you again next time for another new episode. Peace.